Hello, everybody. Welcome. Peter Paccone here, and I've got AP World History teacher Teddi Culver joining us today. Teddy's going to describe for us how she uses Class Companion in her AP World History classroom. Really looking forward to hearing what you have to say, Teddi. Welcome.
Hi, Peter. Thank you, and thanks for having me on here. I have been using Class Companion really since you guys launched, and it's been a game changer in my classroom, especially in my AP History classrooms, and most importantly in AP World History.
Looking forward to hearing all the details, maybe even having you walk us through it a little bit. I'll also be sharing some things. Curious if you're using it to the extent that I'm going to be describing, and if not, what you think about that use. We'll just go back and forth. But first, before we get there, let's just have you share with the viewers here, the attendees, webinar attendees, a little bit about yourself. How did you get to teaching? Where did you grow up? Tell us about that path just a little bit, and then we'll hear about the school you're teaching at and a little bit about that. But let's just go first. How did you get to teaching? From where?
Sure. So it's one of those cliche stories that I've always wanted to be a teacher, but then changed my mind in high school when I learned they didn't make as much money. But I came back to teaching. Originally, I wanted to be elementary school teacher and then social studies. I found that was my love in college courses, the way that they taught social studies and history in college versus in high school at the time. So I graduated from Indiana University of Pennsylvania in social studies education. And then I did Teach for America, and I taught in Mississippi. I was part of the Mississippi Delta Corps of 2013. So I was in Mississippi for a few years, and then I came to Florida. I'm in Key West, Florida. So I'm literally sitting at the southernmost high school in the United States right now. So currently I teach at a private Catholic school, and we just opened up a high school program. Before coming here, I was at the public high school, Key West High School, which had, when I taught at Key West High School, I taught AP US History. Now I teach AP World History, APWH, and AP Psychology. So a lot of different schools and states and backgrounds, but I've always taught history, and AP history is my love, my forte. So that's a little bit about kind of my background. This is my 9th year teaching. And yeah, it is already end of the year, which is crazy to think that AP exams are coming up soon.
Have you had your spring break yet?
We had spring break a few weeks ago.
1 week or 2 down there?
1 week.
Nice. So tell us about the demographics of the school a little bit. You said it's a Catholic school. What kind of kids do you got living all the way at the end of Florida?
Sure. So the island of Key West is very diverse. That's what I love about Key West. We have many Cuban students, Haitian students, students that are called conchs. And those are, my son is technically a conch, anyone that was born and raised in Key West. And those that come down, military, we have a lot of military students where their parents are stationed here because we have a large military base. And those are more transient. So we have a more transient student community. And it's very diverse as far as backgrounds and different perspectives, and where a lot of immigrant population of students to actually have a lot of Polish students and Ukrainian students as well. But the school is quite small right now. We just opened up the school as far as the high school program a few years ago. So right now we only go up to 11th grade, and next year will be our first 12th grade class, which is really exciting.
And how many sections of AP World do you teach?
So this is what's interesting. I only teach one section, and it's AP students, and I have some honor students in the course too, because our school is really small right now and we're growing. So next year there'll be a separate AP course and honors course, and then the general course too as well. So that does pose some challenges, and that's where Class Companion has really helped because I can differentiate better with Class Companion, where I use it for my AP World History students, also my honors students too as well, that can get the same type of skills that's needed because it's the same content. As far as these students, I feel like the skills they need for the exam, Class Companion really helps with that, especially the writing part of it.
I'm looking at the comments right now, and one just came in saying she can't, or I don't know if it's a he or she, can't wait to hear how you're using Class Companion in the classroom. Somebody seems to know you there. So let's jump right in there and let's have everybody take a look. Do you mind taking over the screen? Do you know how to do that? If not, I'll help walk you through it. But down there at the bottom of this StreamYard is a present button.
Sure. Yeah, I'll present on my dashboard. Do share screen.
And as soon as you've locked in, I'll bring it up. Tell me if you've done it yet. Yeah, we had an issue with it the other day on the other end. That's interesting. It's not coming. There it is.
Okay, you see it?
Got it. Yep, there you are. Good.
Okay.
You worked it out. So
perfect.
walk us through it. That's your dashboard. Okay.
It is, yes. And these are the different classes I use Class Companion for. Since we're a small school, I do teach many different courses. So regular world history or honors world history, AP world history, APWH history. I teach a dual enrollment level American history in the English course. And I actually taught AP psychology last year. So I use Class Companion for all these subjects. AP world history, I think I use it the most in. So here's my APWH history class. These are the assignments. Tomorrow, actually, I have this scheduled, so you can schedule a assignment, and this is a practice long essay question, so a practice LEQ essay. So I'll click on this to
take a look at that. Sure.
Take a look at it. So when they took their Unit 7 exam, I noticed some of the questions on AP Classroom because we use that for the exam. For this specific time period, the students struggled with the questions on the economy. So I wanted to have a assignment where they could practice those skills. And this will use their notes for. Sometimes I use this as a test, but I'll go ahead and kind of show you guys how it works. So I typed in, the question, and there's a way you can attach the rubric. And these are already pre-saved.
Before you get there, if I could just ask you a question. Sometimes we get new people in the show here. This particular assignment, is this your prompt? Did you have the AI created? Did you find it in the content library?
So this is a prompt right from the College Board. So I took one of the LEQ essays that they have released, for students to practice with. And I took that question and I put it in with question 1. Okay. So this was one of the LEQ questions, I believe from a few years ago. And then I typed up this introduction, kind of background to it. Now the introduction's optional, it says optional here. And here's the essay prompt. Now this essay doesn't have any documents with it because it's just a DBQ, but I'm actually doing a DBQ essay with students in another class tomorrow. And I've done that with my AP World History students, but you can easily put in the documents for a DBQ essay in here too as well. And since the AP exam is moving to be totally digital this year, this is good practice for students to type their essay on Class Companion and to get used to typing. So all of my written assignments, either practice assignments or test assessments for writing, has been on Class Companion. I feel like it's a lot easier to grade and for students to navigate than using sometimes AP Classroom as far as typing it in. So
I could just to clarify here. So one way you're using it, Class Companion, sorry for interrupting there, I just want to make sure I'm getting all this, is you're using it you're taking released exam LEQs and popping them into Class Companion. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. And sometimes I'll create my own, but in this case, for instance, the one the students are going to take tomorrow, this was a released prompt by the College Board.
And then what about rubric? How do you direct the AI to, do you create your own, or is there one built into the platform?
Yeah, so if you go to rubrics, I upload, it already has it saved. So I have the LEQ rubric saved. I have APWH on here, but they have the same rubric.
Yeah, yeah.
Where I just uploaded the rubric from the College Board directly into this
Okay.
assignment, and it automatically grades it based on the rubric, and it's pretty accurate. Actually, it's very accurate, and I'll show you some past essays I've done in the past, so you can see student
Sure.
responses. Let me go back here. Short answer. Okay. Essay. Okay. Can you guys see this student example?
Yes.
Okay. So what I really like, this is the student answered one of the LEQ essays. This is from beginning of the year. I believe there's time period too. AI will automatically, in-class companion, with the rubric I plugged in, it will automatically grade it for me, which is amazing. I always go back and just read over it. And I love how Class Companion underlines what they deem to be the contextualization. So contextualization's in blue. Okay, this is underlined in blue. So I can read that to see, oh yeah, the student, it's just easier for me because I just don't have Class Companion grade it and put it in as that grade. I also reread it, but I would give it the same score as Class Companion. It just makes it easier for me to find this information. Like the thesis, it's underlined, and this is what Class Companion did with AI. So you can see the purple evidence. Okay, evidence was underlined. So we'll underline that for me, so I can see it, and the students can see it too as well. So the students can see how this was graded on their end and how it was scored. So it gives you the justification. I think the student here needed to connect their evidence back to their thesis better.
Figured that would be the case. It usually is. So Teddi, you are actually having the Class Companion grade, not just formatively, but summatively. You look it over. If you find a match, you put that into the grade book. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, cool. And you're finding that fairly solid degree of consistency, of accuracy.
Yes, absolutely.
Do your students ever challenge? Do they ever dispute a score?
They do, and there's a way for them to dispute a score. I will go back to short answer questions. They typically dispute more because sometimes the short answer questions, they feel like they were specific enough. And when they get graded, it shows that they were not. Let's see here.
Even on complexity, you're finding a fair degree of accuracy in terms of how you would score it for the LEQs.
Yes.
Wow.
I really, for complexity, yeah, it's pretty accurate. Every once in a while, if a student will question, or they felt they were specific enough, I would, give them the point. Let's see here. Okay, so for this short answer question, you can also allow students multiple attempts. And I did that at first for the short answer questions. And then I also have the short answer question rubric I put in similar to the essay rubrics. And I can allow 1 attempt or 2 attempts. And if I allow 2 attempts or 3 attempts, there will be a help on the side that will basically guide the student. Is there a name for
Ditto. It's called Ditto. Ditto the tutor, and you can see it there on your screen, a little green icon there at the bottom. Yeah. If when we go to student view, I don't know if you can activate it now, but when we're in student preview or student view, we can show attendees what that looks like. Sure. You see it at the bottom? Yeah.
Yeah. the question score, whether incorrect, but with these multiple attempts, they'll have a helper,
Mm-hmm.
basically, the AI response, you were close to your answer, maybe explain further, why this was such a great impact. And then that will have the student like, oh, I wasn't specific enough. And usually it's that with short answer questions, like the students know the information, they just maybe are not specific enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the short answer questions they're so great at short answer questions by the end of the year, because throughout the year we've been using Class Companion, and they've been working up to now I only allow one attempt, but beginning of the year, they had 2-3 attempts until they got used to what was expected of them as far as responses. But now they know, because they've got coached essentially by Class Companion. And of course, I go over it with them too as well.
SAQs, LEQs, and DBQs. That's essentially how you're using it. Just getting them ready for the exam in APWH in May, or in AP World in May, right?
Yes.
And let's go ahead and is there anything? Should we show them the student view? Do you want to see how the ditto looks, or do you want? Let's do that.
How would I do the student view? Would I?
Well, I'm going to ask you: have you ever used the create an assignment with the with AI feature on Class Companion? Because let's just hold that right there. So you have 3 choices when you create an assignment: generate with AI, import, or find in Content Library. And it sounds to me like more often than not, you're just using the release. So you're importing. Is that right?
Yes, most of the time.
Have you tried to create an assignment, generate with AI?
I have recently, actually. For the first time, I took advantage of the multiple choice features, because I've always used the Class Companion features for writing practice. And I did create a quiz, multiple choice quiz, where I asked AI to, write a review for, causes of World War I and World War II. But I don't have as much experience using the multiple choice.
Well, let's try it to see how that works. So go ahead and click on it. Now, are you finished with the content? You're at 7, or do you have still some content? No, I meant that's fine. You're good. Yeah. Or do you have some content still that you have to teach? Something coming up?
Yeah. So we're on the Cold War right now. So I have to actually have Heimler up here.
Oh, good.
One of the videos, because we're going to play or look at 8.2 tomorrow.
So I know Steve, and he knows what I'm about to share with you. Whether it's a Heimler video, or whether it's some other video, or whether there's some lesson plan that you create, one of the things you can very easily do is type into that box right there where let's see, objective, where it says objective. Okay, let's say you finish off, and I know in world history the unit on Cold War is relatively large. So to say, hey, create for me X number of MCQ questions to check student understanding of AP World History student understanding of the Cold War, or something like that. Go ahead and pop that in there. Don't submit it yet. Create, yeah.
5 multiple choice questions based on, should I just say the video and I can attach the video?
Well, you won't be able to attach the video. What you would be able to do is go to the YouTube video, any YouTube video, scroll down to the bottom where you find transcript, and plug the transcript in, and then say, based on the transcript, create those questions. You could do that. Okay.
So I can do that based on the transcript below, and then just add it.
And then you would add it, right? Yep. So if we wanted to, we could do that with the Heimler video. Do you want to you want to see how that would look?
Yeah, because I would actually use it tomorrow in class.
So open up a new tab.
Okay, well, I have the Heimler videos up here.
Good. So go ahead and tell me which video you plan on showing, which video you'd like to have the check for understanding questions created for. And then in YouTube, if you go down to right beneath the video, there's going to be a little description. You'll see a button, and that'll say more. Do you see that? And if not, we'll call it up and I'll walk you through it.
The show transcript?
Yes, the show transcript. So click on that. And the transcript should pop up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen.
seeing it
Okay.
over here on the
Good.
side.
Good. Now, to the very top of the transcript on the side there'll be 3 little dots. And if you click on it, it should say something like toggle transcript.
Yes.
And so toggle it, it'll take off the timestamp. So you'll have the nice, clean transcript.
Okay.
Now just copy and paste that whole transcript into the objectives here.
And then just here with the, okay.
Okay. And if I went down, but did you say create the number? There we go. Sure. Fine. So it's a little small on my end. What did you write in there? How many? 25 questions?
I said 5. Let me change it.
Yeah.
Can I change it to 10?
Yeah. Good. Fine. And and you said MCQs, right? And based on the transcript below, you directed it that you're checking to see if students watched the video and understood the video, because Steve is really, really good, but sometimes he leaves stuff that's in the CED out. And so we just want to make sure that your students are being held accountable to the video and not to information in the CED that he might have omitted, because keep his videos down to a decent length.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So should I just hit generate and review?
Yeah. Let's see if this works. As the questions pop up, what I'm going to ask you to do is just look through them and judge them. See if these are what you think are the kind of questions that call on students to display. We're going to trust that the AI, in fact, is checking for what Heimler presented. We're going to trust that. But what we want to now do is take another level of analysis. Are the questions the kind of questions you think kids should be able to answer? Or are there questions in there that you would say, are let's just say trivial in nature? The ideal phrase is we want Goldilocks questions that aren't too hard, questions that aren't too easy, too soft, and really hit the sweet spot as far as what you think students should know.
Yeah, I'm looking through these, Peter, and these are pretty good questions. These are like the main ideas, what they should have gotten out of the video. So can you guys see the questions, or can you see the question on my end?
The others can. As the host here, I've got all kinds of stuff on my screen, so it's a little bit small for me, and I have to put my face right up against the camera there, and I'm not going to do that for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think they're good questions.
How about that? Now, you said you thought you might assign that. Are you looking over the questions? Do you still think that you might send that off to?
Yeah, I will. I actually will do this tomorrow, and try out the.
So let's publish it. I mean, whether this doesn't automatically go to your kids, but let's publish it, and then actually, sorry, my bad. Let's first preview. There you go. As a student, let's see what that looks like. Yeah. And just pick a question, any one that you want. Put in the right answer. Put in the wrong answer. We just want to see what that feedback looks like, and then you submit it.
Okay, I'm just going to click one. I'll do a wrong one here.
Okay.
But,
and let us know what you think about the feedback.
yeah, so far, okay, I'll click another wrong answer here to see their response. Let's click on this. Yeah, I like the responses. I think they're simple for the students to understand. And
Teddy, bottom right-hand corner of the screen there, that green dot, that's Ditto. That's that tutor you were referencing earlier. Have you had a chance yet to play with it and see what it might look like from the student end?
I have not. So should I just click on him?
Yeah. Now, in the settings, when you set this thing up, you have some choices. I'll tell you about those in a bit. But for right now, just let's take a look at what happens. So it comes up, it says, "Hi, I'm Ditto, and I'm basically your tutor." So if you take on the role of a student, hints, ask it what you think. I mean, I know what I would want. Sometimes I find these explanations, I find them a little bit over the top. I find let's just say if I were to have found them to be a little bit over the top, I want to simplify them. Let's just plug in one of the explanations and say, "Hey, can you explain this in simpler terms? Maybe words with less syllables or something."
Okay.
Yep. And
Excuse me, I have like a tickle right now.
no, that's all right. I got one under this hat, so I'll trade you real fast. Okay, here we go. I've been needing to do that for the last half hour. Yay.
All right, let's see. Can you explain question 2? Can you explain the answer?
Yeah. Yeah. Simpler terms. Yeah.
Okay, so you can describe what you already know about the countries involved. Clarify things.
And we don't have to run with this too long. As far as you want, but it gives the viewers here, those that have shown up for the webinar, a chance to see how that would work. And multiple attempts you can give the student. You can control the extent to which the Ditto provides feedback. You could actually even have the Ditto provide feedback in a language of the student's choosing. You could arrange for that. I've talked to some teachers and they find that to be a good thing, and others who want to steer clear of it, given the nature of the test always being in just English. But really up to the teacher. I know with the students that I tutor, many of them come out of are Chinese, and if they don't understand something, I don't hesitate to have AI translate it into Chinese. We go back and forth 2 or 3 times, and then all of a sudden they can do the English real easily because they've made the connection. But it's up to an individual teacher. So now do you have any questions there? Or?
No, I like that I have this option too as well. Just another tool I could use on here.
So you're all set to go. Did you publish it to your class? Do you want to do that? I don't recall if you did that.
So I'll do publish to my world history.
And if you don't want the students, I think they're going to receive it right now, right? So if you don't want them to receive it,
I'll schedule it for
you can schedule it. Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Do 9 a.m.
And
then
there you are.
Perhaps there'll be homework, and they're not here. I'll have it due by Monday evening.
Good job. There it is. Yeah. Assignment uploaded. So look what we've done here. Then we've used Class Companion. You've come onto the webinar, and 3 ways you're using it, the way many teachers use it for putting before the students SAQs, LEQs, and DBQs that are released from the exam, or released from college, or released by College Board, made publicly available. And you upload those yourself. Of course, there's another way to do it too, and that is, let's go back to assignments. And then we've also shown how you can now check for understanding after a Heimler video. So you have 4 different ways to use it. But click on, as we are there, if you go all the way to the top of the page, do you see where it says review? There, yes. Let's click on that.
Here, find assignments.
Yep. So let's see, we're going to make sure that it's all AP World History, right? Good. Have you seen this? I call it the AP Success Hub. Created it last year, AP Success Hub. And really what it does is it just provides numerous targeted assignments for AP World. And can you just read off a couple of those? Right.
Sure. So I'm looking at, I like this one has an excerpt attached, and
Uh-huh.
most of the multiple choice questions, well, all the multiple choice questions have a stimulus, and some students struggle with the reading the primary sources. So I do like that you can also embed sources
Mm-hmm.
into the questions too, and that class companion already has this pre-made
Mm-hmm.
uh, for the teachers.
I mean, SAQs, LEQs, and DBQs are certainly, certainly also checks for understanding. But the big difference there is when you use that phrase "check for understanding," we're talking about after a lesson has been taught, before you get to the
Mhm.
SAQ, LEQ, DB, before you get to the assignment that has the greater pressure on it. Find out, are they ready for it? After a YouTube video, a Heimler video, an AP Daily video, whatever the case might be. After a PBS Learning video, or I actually taught, I taught APWH for years, and I have many students that I tutor in these other social studies classes. I show the TED Ed lessons. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those, but some of them are excellent for AP World, AP Euro, APWH. The one on voting, the history of voting, is ideal for US and for Gov. And so I show the video. I love teaching it, but I show the video. I'm not going to take the time to teach it. And then I give them an opportunity to show that they've learned what was in the video. And it frees up time for me, but it's a major topic in both APWH and AP World.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been such a tool for my AP classes. Um, and the students really enjoy, it's not like a class companion, like they enjoy using class companion. I think because it's the instant results that they get instead of, last year, the year prior, I would have them handwrite the short answer questions. Well, I might get to it my next planning period
Mm-hmm.
the next day. And then when they finally get it, they forgot what they wrote about.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is very instant, and they're able to understand, oh, this is what I need to change. And it's not just a grading platform, it's more of a learning platform.
nice. Yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
Let's see if we're here back at the AP World History Success Hub. Let's put in there sort by topic, select by grade. You got by well, let's see.
Our standard, let's see,
Okay.
I like you have other standards on here too. You can, for state, let's see, grade, format. Let's do unit.
There you go. Mm-hmm. That's
It's a
what I
unit
meant.
8.
There we go. And now comes up the topic. So if you right next to it up there, you could sort by topic as well.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And then you can do the search here. See, Cold War. Let's just do Cold War. So with these other names, Peter, these are teachers that have published their own short answer questions that we can then use.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was a question, but yeah. Mm-hmm. And,
okay. Yeah. I didn't know, like, for instance, when I create these, can other teachers see that the assignments I made and use them as well?
You're actually in control of that. If you'd like to publish it to the public library, to Class Companion's public content library, see where it says public assignments there on the left?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. But if not, then you don't send it there, and it stays in your library, my assignments, below my content at the very top there. On the left, right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It'll stay in that library. Okay. So we've looked at, we now have 5 different ways to use Class Companion in world history. SAQs, LEQs, DBQs for sure. Checking for understanding after something that has been taught, a lecture, a class activity, a video. And then the 5th way is to go to the Success Hub and just assign those things, whatever there, to the students, whatever you want. I mean, If you're into 8, you can assign those. You can assign them as homework, and then just trust that a great deal of learning will take place. Oftentimes teachers fall behind and they start to panic. And when I first started teaching APWH many years ago, I learned that I believe it now takes 5 years to really master an AP course. 5 years to feel like you've gotten where you've gone, and then now you're going to level off a bit. When they fall behind, they can use the Success Hub, and it's a wonderful way to catch up. Now, and so we did that. You said it was good degree of accuracy. You're satisfied with the accuracy, and you're finding that your students react relatively well to having Class Companion put in front of them.
Yes.
What
And
about
yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Peter. I'm sorry.
What about your colleagues? Are you the only teacher in the school using it? How are they reacting to all of this?
Well, at first, so last year I used it, and that's when AI was more in its infancy, I would say. Now it's here to stay. We can't just tell students to not bring in their iPads or computers and everything's handwritten. There's still a lot of teachers that feel that way, and it's a tool, and there's a certain way to use it. And I think the best way to have the students use AI is for a program like Class Companion, where it helps you learn rather than just give me the answer type of thing. So I've tried to explain that to my colleagues about Class Companion. And at first, one of my colleagues that teaches another AP Human Geography course was hesitant to use it. Like, I'm not, using AI. And then when I showed him, he was like, this is really neat. Like this can be really helpful. So now he uses it all the time with his AP students.
How many teachers at that school?
There's not too many. Let's see here. Probably 6 of us high school teachers right now. Wow. And we're looking for more for next year. So
I wanted to. I was really setting you up to make that plug, everybody. You're wanting to get down to Key West. You got a job opportunity down there.
Yeah, basically. We're always looking for, passionate educators, but we're adding another grade. So we're going to add on new AP subjects next year. So I'm definitely going to, share more Class Companion for those AP teachers because it is so useful and student friendly and a great tool.
Teddy, the parents, have you heard from any parents down there? Any feedback from them about your use of an AI platform? Or AI in class?
Well, I haven't shared out to them. We use Class Companion, as in this is what it is how we use it. Students have shown their parents, and they think it's actually some of my students, their parents are teachers. So neat. This is a great way to prepare them. So I think once they see it and they see how it works, I think they're on board with this type of learning through AI.
Anything else you want to tell us about your experience with it? Any students have any special stories, anything like that at all?
Well, I did want to show something I use for students with accommodations that get extra time.
Yeah, let's see that.
I
you
just
want
pulled
me
up
to share the screen again?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like
well,
that?
Actually, I'm sharing. Is my screen still up?
It's up now, yes.
Okay, perfect. Wasn't quite sure there. It probably was the whole time. Okay, I'm just going to add this assignment to this class. Okay, so if we go to, let's see here. Okay, that's the source, questions, that's already pre-made. Okay, submission settings. Excuse me. Okay, this is a number of attempts. Okay, just one attempt, they only try it one time. They can have 2 attempts on it. And for some of my students, this is how I differentiate with honors and AP is, honors will have more attempts. And like I said, it depends on the question. Now, if you go down to settings, you can set a time limit.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do, if I want to do a timed LEQ or timed SAQ to prepare for them for the exam, I can do a time limit, say 10 minutes. Okay. Accommodation overrides. Let's see, detect. I know for some students, let me publish it.
This is going to be interesting. You're showing me something that is new.
Yeah, so there's a way where I can allow students some extra time on it if I have it timed. So
And I've never done it before. I'm fairly certain that the feature exists. I've never used it myself. So
so right now I have it timed. Let's see.
Something I'll have to learn about.
I have to go back to see, but I'll create assignment where I can just choose select students, and that select assignment doesn't have a time limit, but I do the same assignment and that one has a time limit. So it's for those that have extended time can have the extended time.
I wonder if it's under students. If it's just one student, all you have to do is click next to their name, extended time, time and a half, or something like that. I doubt it, but
change accommodations.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. I didn't even know this was here. Okay. Reading level for feedback. So this is actually one of my ELL students. Spanish is her first language. So there's a translation here.
Nice.
Able to translate feedback into different language. I will check that for her. Okay. And I do have students that need text to speech. So this is amazing. I didn't know about this. So this is a cool discovery. I can go into that specific student and click text to speech. And here's extended time. So I can multiply, whatever extended time they have.
Nice.
So that is
more settings determined by you. Submit requests down there. So one thing that makes me feel best about being associated with Class Companion, and that is the work that Class Companion puts into responding to teachers, how it listens to teachers and then responds. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and yet the platform keeps getting better because of that willingness. But the time and effort is astronomical. So.
Now, I do have a question on that, Peter. So I went to submit request. Okay. It says more settings determined by you. So this is requests for other settings.
Yes. Okay. So, there's a couple that I have in mind right now, ways to build on the Success Hub. And if I wanted to, I could just communicate them right there.
Okay, perfect. So I click that and that should translate for her. I'll check with her tomorrow. If it did that. That's awesome. I didn't realize that it's even better.
Now we're going to try one more thing today. Okay, we've got we're at 43. We have an hour, so we're getting close to 15 minutes. Could you open up a tab and go to the AP World History CED? We're going to take a look at something. Let's go to the CED for a second.
Okay. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to ask you to do some things. I'm going to have you scroll down when it comes up on the screen. We're still showing your dashboard. So when you get to the CED, can you open that up?
Yeah. So I'm on the CED right now, like the PDF.
But you've got to. You didn't open another tab. You're still on your dashboard tab. So you have to click.
Share this tab instead.
Okay. Let's go down to the at a glance. So it's those boxes, the 8 boxes or 9 boxes. It's pretty far down there, but what we want is at a glance. They're colored boxes. No, it's above that. It's above. Keep going. Up. Keep going. You're doing. Yep. Go a long way. Scroll up. Yeah. Keep scrolling.
It's beginning of the unit. Or...
Yeah.
Okay. I see at a glance.
Keep going. further up.
Is this the one for
No,
Unit 1 at a glance?
no, I want all of them, all 9. Keep
Oh,
going up.
okay.
Yeah, move
There
that.
we go.
There we go. Okay, now let's go. Good. So there's your at a glance, units 1 through 9. Now let's scroll down to where they show unit 8 and 9. I'm going to ask you something and have you tell me what you think. Okay, there's 8. Now you're just getting into 8, right?
Yeah, so we started Unit 8 this week, so yeah, we're about the beginning parts of it.
And let's take a look at 9 for a second. I want you to just look at 9 and 8. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Let's just say something comes along in Florida, and it's nothing having to do with you, some weather condition or something, and you are just not able to get to where you wanted to go. So what I want to do is I want to ask you, if you were to, let's say, all of a sudden you get bogged down, can you find me 2 topics in 8 and 9 that you would say, now, hold on a second, these are not the most difficult topics to learn, and these are not the most difficult topics to teach. You've convinced yourself, I don't have enough time to finish the course this year because of these missed school days, unexpected missed school days. What I'm going to try to ask you to explore is whether Class Companion could be used to help teachers who've run out of time. So in 8 and 9, in AP World History, is there a topic there, 1 or 2 topics, 2 I would love, 3 better, that you say, not too hard to teach, not too hard to learn, but if I had to cut them out, I would. What topics would those be?
It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
Maybe newly independent states.
Okay.
Since there's
Topic.
not as effects of the Cold War. I mean, that's kind of a big topic, but some of these topics that don't have as much information, perhaps.
I would agree with you on newly independent states. I would think that is least a bit easy to teach, relatively easy to learn, maybe even relatively unlikely to test on, with maybe 1 exception or 2, newly independent states. I mean, maybe, is this after the Cold War, or is this after World War II?
This one would be after
Cold
Cold War.
War. Yeah. So, maybe, Germany, I suppose, something like that, reunification, maybe. So give me 1 more topic.
So we already talked about decolonization, or the starting point of that, post World War I, post World War II. So this kind of goes back a little bit. Decolonization is a continuation of what we've already talked about.
Yeah.
So I feel like those 2 could be,
And
that can be another topic.
And let's look in 9 for a second. I find that oftentimes in 9, in these history courses, there are certain topics that are just so easy for kids. I mean, because they reference computers or something like that. Is there anything in 9 that you would say you could also perhaps?
Yeah, technological advances.
Right. Yeah.
Globalization, culture. They took a lot of these students took human geography last year, so they're very familiar with globalization already.
Right. So what I'm going to ask you is, let's say that happened and you went, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get through all these topics, and I've got to find 4 that I'm somehow going to jettison. And if you were to, now that you saw how you can use a Heimler video and check for understanding with AI, what do you think would happen if you just turned over as homework those 4 units to someone like a Heimler, and he said, watch the video, I'm not going to be able to teach it, and here are the 20, 5, 10 MCQs for each of the videos. Just your gut hunch, because I'm dealing with a lot of teachers who, for whatever reason, have fallen behind. And one of the suggestions I'm making is give it a go. If you know for sure you're not going to get there, at least you've got a shot at exposing your kids to both what they need to know and then holding them accountable to that. A strategy.
Yeah, I think a good strategy for that. I'm actually going to miss a few days next week to a conference out of town where a couple of our teachers are going to. So I think this would be good. And we have block schedules. So I have students for hour and a half where I can post one of the Heimler videos,
There you
use
go.
a multiple choice question generator, and then have maybe just short answer questions where they have multiple attempts to answer,
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
guides you with the Ditto tutor. And then from there, have practice uh, short answer questions with the stimulus,
Hmm.
primary, secondary source on the topic with
Hmm.
multiple attempts. And then perhaps it could be like a one attempt final, summative short answer response based on what they learned. And I
Hmm.
can see structuring it like that, especially for work when I'm not here, that they can do on their own, where I don't have to come back when I come back to recover those topics. I think that would actually work quite well.
Sounds like a fabulous lesson plan to me, Teddy.
Mm.
Fabulous lesson plan, and great use of sub time too. Not putting too much on the sub, um, and making sure that the kids are staying busy learning something while you're out for a block schedule. That's 3 hours, right? An hour and a half. How long is your block? Did you say?
It's about an hour and a half, and we see the students 3 times a week.
Wow. Mm. Wow. Well, look at that. 5 different ways to use, at least five, and I think maybe we even popped out a sixth one here, of using Class Companion in AP World History. And that brings us pretty much to the end of our hour. Is there anything else? Yeah, the insights. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think we covered a lot. I thought I knew everything with Class Companion. I would say I learned
Mm.
a lot from this webinar too, even though I'm like co-hosting. I think it's really neat with the accommodation part where I can go in for each student and do the extended time or the translation. That is such a game changer. And yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me on here. I hope the teachers that were able to join or come back and watch later will learn something from it, and Class Companion can help them with their class, and the students enjoy it too as well, that they are able to use it and enjoy it.
Well, I sure learned about, especially as it relates to the accommodations. That was news to me. I'm glad you opened that door up, and we were able to figure that out together. That's exciting. Great opportunities
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I'll stop sharing here so we can.
Oh, yes. I've always think that on too long. Teddy, thank you so much for joining us today, being here. I wish you the best as we go down the backstretch, and I wish your kids the best as on the exam this year, as always.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And same with everyone who has students that are taking the AP exam soon, and just as the
Mhm.
crunch time, we're all feeling it. I feel behind kind of going through it quickly, but again, this is a great tool to help alleviate some of that feeling like it's
Mhm.
all on you this time of the year. But yeah, good luck to
Mhm.
everyone and their students, and thank you, Peter. I appreciate it.
Thank you again, Teddy. Bye, all. Take care. Bye bye.